Well, hey there, Harlos Santana here, Dudes, Tunes, and Brews. I'm here on location in the Dudes, Tunes, and Brews workshop. I wanted to take some time here to make another tutorial. If you're into the screen printing hobby, or if you're into maybe trying to do some screen printing in your garage as like a startup, maybe I'm trying to do that here soon, then I got some information that you might like to know. So let me turn this camera around and I'll show you a few things. Alright, now in this tutorial I'm going to show you a few things. First of all, what's this? It's a screen. You put your graphics on it. This is a photo emulsion method. I got brave and decided to try it, and I have done a pretty good job. So this is actually two designs for two different t-shirts. This is a speedball frame. Pretty simple. I think it might be, I'm not sure what kind of wood it is. Feels like maybe a light oak, but it's probably not. It's probably just some regular ass construction lumber. But yeah. These are like $35 a piece with the mesh. They're like $15 without the mesh, and the speedball mesh is like 20 bucks a yard. And I don't want to pay that much money. So what have I been doing? Well, I got out one of these handy here tape measure things and took some measurements of this bad boy, and let me show you something. What's this? It's an HP original. I made this here at the house, in the workshop. Now a lot of people don't realize us here at Dudes, Tunes, and Brews, we're pretty versatile and handy and knowledgeable. Listen to this. Tight as a drum. Stretched it myself, cut all the lumber, stretched it, and I've got about $5 in this right now, and it's just as good as the speedball. It's just rough sawn lumber instead of that fancy machine cut lumber, but you can get a whole bunch of uses out of this. I've already made, this is my third homemade screen that I'm going to put 2 more graphics on, so I'll have a total of 6 screens, 3 that I've made, 3 that I've bought. But if you're handy, all you need is a table saw and a chop saw and some of this. Yeah, that's just a 2x4 to cut off. It's scrap. It's premium construction lumber. Not that cheap soft bullshit. This is the premium lumber. I just built a garage, the workshop, and these are leftovers from doing that. So what you do, you take this to a table saw. I'm not going to run the table saw and all that crap because it's like 10 o'clock and I got neighbors. But you set your rip fence at about 15/16, and that will be your width here between my fingers. Okay, and then once you cut that one, you turn it at 90 degrees and you cut 1 1/8 between my fingers. So it's 1 1/8 by 15/16. Then after that, you want to set your rip fence at about 1/2 inch and then run it on the wide side, the 1 1/8 side, and that's when I messed up. And then you run a cut down the center, and that will be for your mesh, your screen spline, your rope as they call it, I guess. That's a piece I messed up, so that's a scrap, but this is what it looked like. Nice even 1/8 inch cut. That's just from the kerf of the blade, and that's what you see there. Then you cut it on a 45 with your miter. You know, you just cut it like a frame, any other frame, and after that, you want to grab one of these guys. That's a staple gun. One of the heavy duty T50s. I used 3/8 heavy duty staples in that, the length, and I used one of these here brad nailers, 18 gauge, with a little small compressor I got. And you assemble your frames on the 45, of course. That's 4/5 to make a nice even square or rectangle or whatever shape you want to whatever size. And if you want to do like me and make these knockoff speedball frames, you want to cut your long rails at 16 1/4 and your short rails at 12 1/4. and they'll meet up nice and neat. You see here, nice neat corners that you can put your mesh into and stuff that screen spline into and have you a nice tight screen. All I do is I made them up on the corners, hit them with a staple gun twice on each side, on all four, then I flip it, do the same thing, and then once that's done, I take my brad nailer and I run 2 brads down into this section, not this section, because if you run them that way, your brads are going to fall into your mesh trough you cut. And you do 2 on each side into the same outside section. So then you have 4 staples and 4 brads holding each corner. This thing is strong as hell. You cut your mesh, stuff the rope in there, bada bing, bada boom. You got a homemade speedball knockoff. Here shortly, I'm going to be using this one to do a tutorial on the photo emulsion. So thanks for hanging out and checking out this one, and we'll stay in touch for the next one. Those Tunes and Brews. Boop doo ba doodly bop doodly bop bow ba down bow ba down bip down bow bow ba down bow ba down bow 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 ba down bow 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 bow.